Hello everyone, Mr. Janky here. I'd like to show you how to create your first book in Book Creator. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm here on my main page, I'm going to go up to the top left and click on where it says New Book. When I click on New Book, I'm given a number of different options. I'm given a portrait type style of book. I can create a square book or a landscape book. You'll also see down at the bottom, you're going to see that there is portrait comics, square comics, and landscape comics, pardon me. So in this case, I'm just going to click on the comic part under portrait. So this will now create my page, and as you can notice, it is totally empty. This is my cover. So now if I want to add to my cover, I come up to the top right, and under the eye, this will bring up all of my, here's all the backgrounds that they have. There are different colors, patterns, textures, paper, etc. So I click on it, say I want it to be gridded. I can make it gridded. Maybe I'm going to create a math book, or whatever in this comic. Maybe it's going to be music based, right? So I can here it gives me my treble clef and my staff. So you have lots of different options under paper. I'm actually, because I'm going to create or just start to create a comic, I'm just going to choose one of the backgrounds here. That's a pretty cool background for the cover of my comic. That's great, I've got that. And then when I want to add information to it, I click on the plus, and this is where I can add in text, stickers, speech, panels. In this case, I'm going to add in text. I'm going to add in a title. Up comes the title. I'm just going to call it Mr. J's First Comic. I can bold it. There's obviously a lot of things I can do here. So I'm just going to hit done. And once it's here, if I don't like the setup, I can also move it around the page. I can change the color, because really the red there is not necessarily the best color, but that's okay. I can also create a link, which is also neat. I'm going to underline it. There we go. But anyhow, so there I've got my cover made. That's terrific. When I want to go to the next page, I just come over, and on the right-hand side, you'll see this arrow. Now it gets me to page 2, 3. It has that open format. So the first thing I want to do, because this is a comic, I'm going to click on the plus, and I'm going to click on panels. And as you see, it's not just straight panels. I can set up my panels any way that I want for my page. So I'm going to go with this setup because I think it's kind of neat. There we go. And then within my panel, I click on it. I now have a number of options. I can take a picture with a camera if, for example, I'm using a Chromebook or a laptop that has a camera. I could also click on pictures, which will open up either images that I can search online. In this case, I'm just going to look for Batman. So I'm just going to add Batman into my comic. Doesn't really matter which one. Let's start with just the Batman symbol. And once I've put that symbol's really large. So I will want to resize that, right? So I'm just going to make it a lot smaller. I'll drag it back over. It's still too large. What I like about this is see how it cuts off part of the picture. If you only want part of a picture, you want it to be a little bit outside of the frame, you can do that as well. So here's my Batman symbol that I've added in. I'm going to click up here. I want to add in some text. So I'm going to go back to the plus button. I'm going to go to text. In this case, this time I'm going to see they do have caption, which is great. I'm going to go to title and Batman and Mr. Janky's Adventure began, ... I hit done. Now, once again, the text is too big. I just need to resize my text. So here we go. Now, it's obviously huge, and that's because when I made it, I chose, here we go. So now I click on the eye. Let's see if this will do what I want it to. Let's highlight it. Can I make the text smaller from here? I can, perfect. And I can change the color. I don't really want it to be red in this case. And make it yellow. Well, that's pretty cool. And then I can move it across. So Batman, Mr. Janky's Adventure began, ... And then I got my Batman symbol, and maybe I'd put in a picture of myself to start here. And then obviously I can move things around. I can go to the next panel. And once again, by using these, whether it's a thought bubble, different text, different stickers, I can put in a sticker if I'd like. There's my yeah sticker. I can also change the comic layouts as well. So if I actually click on the outside here of my comic, and I click on the eye while this is highlighted, it gives me the option of adding shadow. I can change the border as well. I can make it thicker. I can change the color of it if I wanted to stand out for some reason. So I can customize also the size of this as well. It can overlap or overtake certain other parts. So there is a lot of customization when it comes to setting up your page and how you want it to look. That's important to know. So I've got my yeah in there. I'm going to throw in just a thought bubble now. Here it is. Remember, I can move it around to wherever I want. I can swing things around. So there is a lot of customization when it comes to building your books. So now that I've got some of this information together on my book, I feel good about it. It's at least a beginning, so you can see how it works. What I do now is I go back to my books, and I now have my new book here. If I come down to the bottom, I can click on the title. That'll be Mr. J and Batman for Batman's first great adventure. And it's by me, so that's great. And now what I can do is if I want to share this book, say it's completed, I can click on the share, I can print my book, I can download it as an ebook, or I can publish it online, which is great. It is saved in my account. So if I go up here and I go to switch to library, I have my own library. And you can see up at the top here, it says books 2. So I think I can also do that with this down here. Oh, look at this. I can import a book. I can move my library, copy a book. I can combine books, which is neat as well. But anyhow, I'm going to go to my library. And now with my library, here it is. If I have shared my library with people, they can come and look at the books that have been created in my library. So your students could do the same thing. They can create a book and then either publish it or just share their book with you. So that at least will get you started with Book Creator. And I hope you use this program. And do remember, it works on all different types of platforms.
He's running.